Dear friends, welcome to the Wednesday Word on Wednesday the 26th of July. On Friday we went to see Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's film about Robert J. Oppenheimer, the brilliant theoretical physicist who was responsible for the Manhattan Project, the United States initiative to develop the atomic bomb during the Second World War. In one of the early scenes, Oppenheimer, who is played by Cillian Murphy, is a disgruntled physics student who, to get his own back for some slight, injects his professor's apple with potassium cyanide. The following night, he wakes up in a guilt-ridden panic about what he's done, and in the morning rushes back to the lab to remove the deadly apple. This becomes a metaphor for the rest of the Oppenheimer story. How can deadly forces that have been unleashed be reined in or atoned for? Like other Christopher Nolan films, the story unfolds in three interlocking time frames. The first is the development of the atomic bomb in Los Alamos in New Mexico in 1942 to 1945. The climax comes with the testing of the bomb and the world's first nuclear explosion. While the rest of the team at Los Alamos goes wild with excitement and adulation of Oppenheimer, he is overcome with the enormity of what he has unleashed on the world. A terrible revelation of divine power, as he calls it. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds, he says, quoting from the Bhagavad Gita. Even though Oppenheimer was a non-observant Jew, he was a deeply spiritual man, influenced by Hindu mysticism and the fundamental mystery of the universe. Well, the father of the atomic bomb, as he became known, would later oppose the proliferation of the more powerful instruments of nuclear warfare. Soon after he appeared on the cover of Time magazine, he lost his job and reputation, in large part due to his objections to the development of the hydrogen bomb and the plotting of his colleague and rival, Lewis Strauss. He was falsely accused of communist sympathies, which triggered a security hearing in 1954, and the eventual removal of his security clearance and the dismissal from the Atomic Energy Commission. And that's the second time frame of the film. And it's linked to the third, which is a congressional hearing to assess the suitability of Strauss as US Secretary of State for Commerce. And I won't spoil the outcome of that, which leads to the denouement of the film. Once the United States drops its bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Oppenheimer is haunted by the sights and sounds of what he's ushered in. Fear and panic, nuclear winter, child victims and grieving survivors sick with radiation poisoning. He later laments, "I feel as though I have blood on my hands." I was reminded of God's indictment of Cain having murdered his brother Abel. "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Despite President Truman's dismissal of Oppenheimer's remorse as the whinging of a crybaby, he finds no peace or forgiveness and remains traumatized as the film ends, with what he most dreads, the terror of a world engulfed by nuclear conflagration. Oppenheimer feared, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Jesus Christ, by his resurrection from the dead, becomes the destroyer of death, the one who cleanses us from all guilt and sin and ushers in the new heavens and the new earth. In the film, Oppenheimer appeared not to find any hope or forgiveness, but those of us who have are given not only freedom from guilt, from the past, but the power to work for a better future for ourselves and for all mankind. The Wednesday Word will now be taking a break until the 6th of September. God bless you today.